Hello everyone, welcome to this new CSS tutorial series. In this course, I will be taking you from absolute beginner to a pro in CSS. That means even if you have never touched CSS before, by the end, you will be confident styling beautiful and responsive websites. So, what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It is the language we use to control how HTML looks. HTML will build the structure and then CSS will make it pretty. Now, if you have not learned HTML before, watch the two of my previous videos and you get up to speed with HTML. So what you see on the screen right now is an HTML file with the HTML boilerplate code, and this is where we are going to learn our CSS. So let us put some HTML elements, for example h1, and say hello CSS. We can also put a paragraph and say this is my first CSS code. So right now this is just plain HTML, and when we view it on the browser, let me show you how it looks like on the browser. So this is how it looks like on our browser. Pretty ugly. You can never find a website looking like this in these modern times and era. So CSS is used to make it look beautiful. Just like you have a house, you put the bricks. You can't just live in a house with just bricks and sand only. You have to put plaster, you have to paint and do some very good finishing. Correct? So that is what CSS is all about. So let us put this side by side so that we can see our changes in real time. Right, so let me shrink this a little bit. All right, so right now let us put some CSS in this code. So we are going to say in the head of this HTML code, type style and type h1 with curly braces. So that will target this h1 element in our CSS. So if we say color blue, you can see now the word hello CSS is blue in color, right? We can increase or decrease its size. If, for example, we say font size 60 pixels, the word hello CSS has increased in size. We can do the same for the paragraph and say color, we are going to give it a color of brown and a font size of 30 pixels. So this is how it looks like, right? So there is 3 ways to use CSS. We have inline style, we have internal styles. For example, the one we have used is an internal style, whereby you put this in the head section of the HTML document. But we also can use external styles in a separate file that has an extension of .css. Remember, when we are creating our HTML files, we give them an extension of .html. Now for the CSS, we give them an extension of style.css. Now, in this series, we'll most probably use external files, right? Because that is the professional way of designing modern websites. If you are using pure CSS, there is the inline styles and internal styles are no longer used. So we use external styles because, for example, if you are designing a page with lots of sections and divisions and paragraphs and what a lot of content, it will be a lot of code in one space if you are using inline styles or internal styles. So it will be a little bit hard for you to manage. So that is why we prefer using external styles. Now, let us go to our folder. Go to your folder and create an external file for the CSS. We are going to name it style.css. Now, this is our external file. So, how do we link this file to our HTML page? So here we'll come to the head section of our page and say link :CSS. So that links the style to our HTML page, just like so. However, for example, if you have the styles in a different folder, for example, if I put a folder here and say CSS and say folder.css. So how do we link this to our CSS file? So we will come here and say link CSS, and in the href, this href works in the same way with the a tag. Remember the a tag that we learned in HTML, so they work in the same way. So you say /. Now you can see that we have we have the folder CSS, the document index.html, and style.css. So you press or click on CSS, which is our folder, and click again on the file that you want to link to this page, right? So that is how you link when it is in a different folder. So now let us get rid of these styles right here and use our style.css. So remember, we have an HTML element called h1 and a paragraph. So what we are going to do is say h1 curly braces and give it a font size of 40 pixels. You can see the size has changed a little bit, and we are going to give it a color of red. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. Let's do the same for the p tag. Font size 20 pixels and color blue violet. So it is working perfectly fine. So you need to remember one thing. HTML is for our content, and CSS is to beautify the content that we have put in the HTML. So in the next video, we'll explore selectors and how to target different parts of a web page. So if you are excited about this series, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Let us meet in the next video with the next tutorial. See you.